Welcome back to GMBNtech, everybody, for Pro Bike Check time. And I'm joined by Annie Last of the Lapierre Mavic Unity team. Annie, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Right, now this is a pretty fancy looking bike, right? I mean, there is all sorts of trickery and custom paintery going on here. That's not even a word, but I'm using it for this instance. So sort of run us through it a moment. Just let's start with that amazing looking paint job.
Okay, so it's a new bike, new paint job, national champion paint job. We've got the kind of...
It's like crackled.
Yeah.
It's like a crackly kind of, I like it.
Like kind of a marbled silver, and then with the British national champ colours at the front. Nice little detailing of name, XCO, XCC national champ on there. So yeah, fresh paint job. And then, it's Lapierre XR full suspension bike.
And what sort of travel are we looking at front and rear on this one? Because I know a lot of people, they seem to be ramping up the amount of travel they've got. There's sort of a disparity with some people are running like 60 and 120. And what have we got on this one?
So I'm running 100mm travel on this. I've got a 32 Fox fork. The bike, you can go 120 or 100, but for me with the 100, bike fits really nicely. And also I was getting real good climbing and transition with it, as well as descending. Just kind of balanced the bike really nicely, and it's working well for me. But
I mean, if it feels balanced and you feel really comfortable on it, perfect, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're aiming for.
So up front, it's obviously a full 29er. We've got a Fox 32 step cast with the twin lockout onto the rear shock as well. What wheels and tyres are we running on this, Annie? And maybe a rough guide to pressures if you can tell us. Okay,
so we've got Mavic wheels. I'm using the 25 rim. We've got the option of the 25 or the 30, but right now we've got the 25 on. Depends a little on conditions, course, but I'm running the Michelin Jet tyres, and for the XCO, probably looking around 17 psi, 17.5 psi.
Okay.
Will be a little bit different for the short track.
Yeah.
But that, it changes. Even if the weather doesn't change, if the course gets ridden in more, the tyres will change, pressures will change.
And is that 17 front and rear, or do you run a slightly different pressure on each one?
I'm normally kind of similar.
Okay.
Normally kind of similar. Again, maybe a little bit of leeway either way. Changes so much in the next couple of days. So many people ride the course, so.
Very true. Now, inserts. A few people start creeping inserts in there. Are we wild enough to chuck an insert in, or are we leaving them and saving the weight?
Sometimes in the rear, really hardly ever in the front, but sometimes in the rear, yeah.
Okay. Obviously, I noticed we've got various lockouts. We've got a KS dropper, full XTR going on as well. Is that an FSA crank as well on a time pedal, I see?
Yes, we've got FSA crank and we're FSA handlebar and stem as well. And we have look pedals.
Look, so, my apologies.
No. And the FSA, we have the option of the power or no power crank.
I was just about to ask, are you running a power meter? I presume in training, yes. In racing, no? Or is that data that you might want to collect sometimes?
In training, yes. In racing, depends.
Okay.
It's really good to have the data, but also sometimes it's a little bit of extra weight saving here and there makes a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Are you dropper all the time now?
Yeah. All the time.
Willing to take that weight penalty, sort of?
Yeah, I don't think there's many people without a dropping out, and it's one of those things, isn't it, once you start riding like that?
Yeah. It's a huge difference. It sort of changes your riding style completely, doesn't it? So, yeah, you're right. Are we seeing any? No solid seat posts anywhere. Right, moving slightly further back, we've obviously got a similar setup. What brakes and rotors are we running here? Because they're quite small rotors as well, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. So Shimano brakes, but Galfer rotors and brake pads.
Okay.
But 160 front and rear. That with kind of the courses we've got, the 160 on the front and the rear is working okay. But obviously some people have got 180 on the front.
Yeah.
But
you never tempted to go up to the 180 on some of the courses with a bit more downhill in and stuff like that potentially?
We've got the option for it.
Yeah.
But this is working well.
All right, well, Annie, I think that is anything else you kind of want to run through us on this rather fancy looking bike? Otherwise, I won't hold you up any longer.
I think we've been through most of it, so yeah.
I think you're right. Look, this is Annie Last Race Bike. Annie, best of luck this weekend. I'm hoping that we see you right up there battling for that win. I'm sure you will be.
Thank you very much.
Right, that's it. Keep your eyes tuned for more Pro Bike Checks.